Ian, tell me about your concerns and their exposure.
Hi, well, thank you for having me. The way I look at this is we're lucky here from the perspective of the timing of this. You know, midweek typically tends not to be a very busy time for Six Flags. Kids are in school, people are at work, and not a lot of people are attending the parks right now, and particularly not in the summer time frame. I do worry, you know, as we get into the weekend, and if this persists. I mean, again, I'm not a weatherman. I mean, I think I was an infectious disease scientist before this with Six Flags and COVID. Now I'm a weatherman, but you know, I'm really hoping that a lot of this just blows out to sea by the weekend and by the busier time. But you know, if it persists and it looms, you know, we could face some type of decline in attendance.
How much of Six Flags kind of annual revenue, if I can put it like this, does a single June weekend carry in terms of exposure?
Yes. So I think the way you have to think about it is they have about 27 parks, roughly speaking. This probably affects right now. Today, it's about two parks. Four are sort of in striking distance, which would be, you know, Great Escape, Montreal, which are currently not affected, but New Jersey and DC would be affected. So those are the four out of a system of about 27. June tends to be a lot busier, but the cadence really becomes July and August are really your make or break. And that's really where your months are and your weekends become that much more important.
I assume that there are properties in California and the West that have been impacted by wildfires as well. What has the experience there been?
So I think the way you want to think about wildfires is primarily as a rain day. You know, so if you see a lot of smoke in the air, just the way rain, that tends to impact it. Also, kind of where you are. So, you know, if you're in, for instance, in the ski season, if you're in New York and New York gets a lot of snow, people will head up to Killington and go skiing, even if there's no snow up in Killington, because it's a psychological effect. But to put kind of numbers to it, on a rain day, so if you look at this first quarter, LA and Northern California were very rainy. Attendance swung about 10%. So you basically they comped down 5% when they would have been up 6%. And California is about 40% of attendance during that first quarter. So it's a very, very large swing.
It makes you almost wonder if the impact wouldn't be large. I mean, who knows if this would ever happen again? But Ian, you make us aware that July, August, if that does, you know, the theme parks aren't going to be happy. Ian Zaffino joining us today from Oppenheimer.